Speaking confidently to a camera is one of the most important skills that you can master for YouTube. But here's the thing, it's completely normal to feel unnatural and awkward. When I first started my YouTube channel, I couldn't even look into the lens without freezing up, tripping over my words and forgetting everything that I had to say. But through consistently making content, I've learned to feel comfortable talking to the camera to the point now where it just feels like second nature to me. So in this video, I'm sharing what I've learned to help you become more confident talking to the camera too. So firstly, feeling uncomfortable when you're talking to a camera is completely normal. It's not a skill that we're born with. As humans, so much of our communication comes in the form of body language or facial expressions, and when you're talking to a camera, you're not going to get any of that. You'll just sit there in a room talking to yourself, staring into this black void, and it's kind of intimidating. The truth is, it isn't normal to sit in a room and talk to yourself while staring into a lens. So once you've accepted that it is going to feel a little bit weird, we can move on to the next tip. My second tip is to remember that you are in complete control. If you record something and you're not happy with it, just don't use it. Remember that nobody's going to see what you've recorded unless you want them to. Remembering this removed a lot of the pressure for me when I first started out, and it helped me feel a lot more relaxed when I finally did hit record. My third tip is to be comfortable and away from distractions. You're likely under enough pressure as it is, so make sure that your recording environment is calm, peaceful, with the minimal amount of distractions possible. You're going to want to find a comfortable and quiet area, inside or outside, where you're not going to be disturbed or preferably overheard. When I first started my channel, even the thought that somebody was listening to me would be enough to throw me off completely. I'd even wait until my wife was out of the house so that I could record knowing that she couldn't hear me. You'll also want to take care of the basics like staying hydrated and making sure that you've got everything you need to be as comfortable as possible. It's also absolutely fine if you need to take breaks, because recording sessions can be really tiring, both physically and mentally. A lot of people, including me, just aren't going to be used to standing there and talking for 20 or 30 minutes straight. And sometimes it can take over half an hour just to make a 10-minute video if you factor in all the mistakes that you're likely to make. And this is tied to my fourth tip. You need to make sure that you set aside enough time to do what you need to do without rushing. You won't be able to make good content if you're constantly looking at a clock. I'll always give myself more time than I think I'll need, because more often than not, something will go wrong. Having that little bit of breathing room can make all the difference. Tip 5 is accepting yourself for who you are. So this was a really hard one for me, and it's something that might be really difficult to start with. Most of us just aren't used to seeing ourselves on camera or even hearing our own voices. But the truth is that nobody's going to judge you as much as you will. I don't know about you, but I'd often take photos of myself and then redo them if I wasn't happy with how I looked. But the truth is that that's just how I looked. When you walk down the street, people see you for who you are. You can't ask people to look at you from a certain angle, and making a video is no different. It's the same with hearing your own voice, and trust me, you're not alone with this. I have not met a single person who started YouTube and said that they liked the sound of their own voice. It's completely normal. We all have our own idea of what our voice sounds like in our head, and when you first hear it back on a video, it's going to sound a little bit weird. You do get used to seeing and hearing yourself, and actually it's been one of the biggest benefits for me starting this YouTube channel, just accepting who I am. Remember this, what people actually care about is the value that you're providing them, not how you look or sound. What I've found is that YouTube is full of amazing, supportive people, and after dozens of videos, I've never had anyone leave a really hurtful or nasty comment. So this is something that I wish I'd learned a lot sooner, but that's talking to one person and not an audience. It's really easy to get overwhelmed when you start thinking about the hundreds or even thousands of people that your videos might reach. Because let's face it, who likes public speaking? Thinking of and speaking to the camera like a single person will remove a lot of the performance anxiety that you may have. It'll also make your delivery a lot more natural and deepen the connection that you have with the viewer. I like to pretend that I'm speaking to a friend or answering one of their questions, because that way I end up speaking a lot more naturally. It also stops me putting on my telephone voice every time I hit record. Good evening. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Tip 7 is to embrace imperfection. You'll likely get to a point when you look back and your first videos will make you cringe. You'll even probably want to delete them like I do, but here's the thing. Perfection does not exist. Your only job is to improve a little bit each time you upload a video. That's it. So how do you do that? By studying your old work, seeing what can be improved and making small changes. Maybe you're a little bit monotone or you lack expression in your delivery. Whatever it is, there's always going to be something that you can improve, and learning to be critical of your work without beating yourself up is a skill that all successful creators have to learn. Mistakes aren't failures. They're proof that you're learning and evolving, so just embrace them. The only time you fail is when you give up. And just by starting a YouTube channel, you've already done what so many people couldn't, so you need to be really proud of that. Every mistake is just feedback for your next video, because there is always a next video. And that leads me on to my next point. There are so many skills in this life that we take for granted, like riding a bike or driving a car. There was once a time when you looked at those things and you thought that was impossible. But if you really think about it, a lot of the skills that we now take for granted, you had to work really hard to get. Camera confidence is no different to any of those skills. If you give yourself enough time, you will find that talking to a camera confidently comes naturally to you. But you do need to put in the reps to get there, and that's why tip 8 is just to practice. On YouTube, there is always another video to make. There is no destination, so you really have to learn to enjoy the journey. To make amazing content, talking to the camera with confidence is just one of the many skills that you're going to have to master, but it's a really important one. So in this next video, I break down my exact process for making great content while working a 9 to 5. It's the exact process that got me to 1,000 subscribers in less than 3 months, so I highly recommend you give it a watch. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.